Hi guys, back today with February's Faith Decks cards, Faith Decks with Friends. Today we're going to be working on the card, and I've done quite a bit of prep work for this because I am using a kit that I got off Etsy from a seller called Bible Journal Love. And this is some of the printables from her Gospel Era Bible Journal Kit. Now, the cool thing about this, and I will try and link it down below, but the cool thing about this is not only does it have the Bible journaling stuff, it also has the Faith Decks cards, just the plain ones, and then I think that she calls them the quick cards. Anyway, so that's what we're going to be working with today. So I've already print and cut everything on my silhouette. It was fairly easy to cut out. There were a couple of things that weren't as easy, but you know, like nothing is perfect. And so when the seller sells them, they are not advertised with cuts, the actual electronic cuts, cut files with them. They are just the PDFs and also the PNGs or JPEGs that come with them. And so like I did have to go in and do some of this. The silhouette that I have the Cameo 4, but I also upgraded to the business edition. And with that business edition, when you import a PNG, a lot of times it will automatically trace around the edges. And so that is kind of a neat feature that I have found with that, and definitely have found it helpful. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's talk about this month and the prompt. So this month is integrity, and I chose to go with Matthew 5:44, and it says, but I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those that persecute you. And I really thought when I was going into this, when I was going into integrity, I actually had a Psalms picked out, and I thought this is a really good verse. And give me just a second and I'll pull it up. But I thought the Psalms verse that I had chosen to begin with was really good, and it says, may integrity and uprightness protect me, because my hope, Lord, is in you. And it's Psalms 25:21, and I really love that verse, and it really does I have some things falling. It really does speak to integrity, you know, that those things, when you live a godly life and a righteous life, and you know, walk in integrity, and you choose to do the right things, those things, you know, we pray that they protect us from worldly things that can happen. But as I was going through this kit, and you know, I looked at the verses that were in the kit that you can add into it, and I saw this from the book of Matthew. And it says, you know, love your enemies and pray for those that persecute you. And I said, I was thinking, and it spoke to me that, you know, what we do for people who don't love us, the way we love them, speaks a lot about our integrity and the different things that, you know, just the way that we walk as Christians, you know, being able to, you know, pray for someone that, you know, maybe we don't really care for or love. And my pin just came out, so we're just going to grab the pliers and hopefully pull this out. But, you know, so like how we choose to conduct ourselves is a really important part of our walk. And it's not just with the people who make it in our lives who make it easy to love them. It's those that don't make it easy. And, you know, so those would be, you know, considered, you know, enemies. And so that was just one of those things that just really started speaking to me. And I was going to use this kit, but I had, like I said, that different verse picked out. And this, you know, it spoke to me. The other thing is, this was the first book. So when I got a little bit older and, you know, I was, you know, learning to read the Bible and things like that, my grandma, this is the first book that she had me read. And so, and like I said in my last video, my grandma is a big part of why I am a Christian. And, you know, she has been a big influence. Looks like this didn't cut very good. When she was alive, she was a very big influence in my life and how I, you know, and my beliefs and shaping those beliefs and that kind of thing. I'm actually going to, I think this is the right one. It didn't cut all the way through. It kind of did, but let's see if I can get this punched out. There we go. Not all cuts are perfect. So you may notice. Okay, so going back to the card. So I have pre-cut my bases, and with this, I did have to mirror the pattern paper because they are not symmetrical. So what I did is I went in and I basically just like wrote F on the front, and then on the backs I wrote B for the backs of them so that I knew the front should be facing up, and then this piece would be attached to this piece right here, and this piece would be attached to that piece right there. So we're going to go ahead and just get our base put together. The cool thing about this kit is it's already inked. The edges of this card are already inked up, so that is kind of nice. Part of that work is already done. So everything is printed on my I think it's 65-pound Recollections cardstock, and the reason I didn't go with a heavier weight is because my printer doesn't like it, like at all. I have tried and tried and tried to print with my 80-pound, with my 110-pound, and it just says, no, thank you. I would rather not do that. So here we are. And so I'm just going to layer a couple of these. We're just going to layer some together using our, why can't I think of this? My bottle is so, art glitter glue. My bottle is so old. I should probably maybe invest in a new one. Okay, so as I was saying, this was the first book that my grandma had told me that I should go in and read. So, it kind of seems fitting that the book of Matthew is the verse for this month. Not that this is my first Faith Dex card or anything like that, but it just seems like a fitting verse. So, okay. All right. Let's get these all glued together. Oh, and if I didn't mention, this is actually for my friend Deb. She is Texie crafty Texas woman here on YouTube, and she is actually the host of this monthly swap that we do. She is the one who has continually encouraged the spiritual journey for the group, and I just can't even tell Deb how much I appreciate her and how much I appreciate this, and it's just so wonderful. Okay, I am going to just set this right there for just a second. I also need to get out some foam tape. I've got a couple of them actually I'm trying these from scrapbook.com, and I've got a couple of different pieces that I want to pop up. You may notice on this one there is a little bit of a white border. We're going to take that off. It's just when my, what do you call them? What are they called? Registration marks. Apparently they were off just a little bit, so they just shifted to the side. It's not going to be a big deal. We're going to take these off really quickly. So I'll just kind of round those off. I thought about possibly inking this, but I don't really want to ink it all. So this little piece right here that I am currently just kind of trimming, this was a piece from the kit that so this piece comes with the kit, and what I did was I just created an offset for it, just an outer offset, so I have a little bit of a border, because when I was playing around with the actual layouts and things like that, it just didn't lay out like I wanted it to. So yeah, so I was thinking, you know, my thoughts on this particular verse as I was going through, and it says, love your enemies and pray for those that persecute you. And I have been following a lot, not following a lot, I've been seeing a lot in different posts and things like that about a lot about change, and I have some big changes coming up in my life. Not ready to share those just yet on YouTube. I will soon, but and it seems like, this might sound weird, those that I call friends, who are supposed to want the best from me, or for me, are those that are standing in my way of some, what I consider great things and great opportunities that are being presented to me. And the whole update with that is, what I've been seeing is kind of the wolf in sheep's clothing. And, you know, it's just, it keeps reminding me that I need to walk with integrity, and I need to not modify my behaviors to go down onto the level that some people are showing me. And it's just, you know, I think this month God has a plan, and he definitely is planning, and I'm sorry if that was off camera. He definitely has a plan, and you definitely have a purpose, but I think that this month it really came at the perfect time, just as a reminder that the way that I conduct myself is very important, and it shows, the world, you know, about Christians. And, because I think that there are a number of times where Christians get a bad rap because, they're saying they're doing God's work and they're not. They're serving themselves, or, they're serving other selfish things. But I want to be the kind of Christian with my walk and the way that I present myself. I don't want people to be like, oh, she's a fake Christian, or, like, what a hypocrite, that kind of thing. And so this month, it really is reminding me, that I need to love those people who I perceive to be against me and who, don't necessarily have my best interests at heart. So there is that. So I just, with this, what I had done is I had cut out these two white pieces and I've popped them up just to give them a little more dimension. I'm trying to keep this fairly flat so that it fits in the into Deb's Rolodex box nice and smoothly, instead of it being overly crazy and overly bulky, and so where it doesn't fit in nice or shift nicely. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I'm just going to flatly put that on there. Okay, now it is curling just slightly. Oh, this little green piece, what I did was, like I said, I created the offset for it, and then I went in with the little dropper tool, the color dropper tool, and I went in and I pulled the color off of this beautiful little hummingbird color, so it matches in with the leaves and everything like that. Okay, now I had an idea of how I wanted this to kind of all go, and I'm going to do, it's going to look something like that. I want to put this right in here, and then I have a bunch of extra little pieces that I want to put around and kind of as foliage. But as I was going through, I was like, I'm gonna actually cut this little hummingbird off. I'm going to also zoom in just a little bit, so hopefully I remember to stay on camera. Okay, because I want to pop that little guy up as well. So in there. Okay. Want this guy to come up like that. And I cut this one slightly thicker because when I cut these, I didn't do an offset, and I found out that so these little pieces are now in several pieces. With that actually helps so I can put them around. But this one I specifically made sure to make a little bit of a wider offset, and I could, if I wanted to, go in and trim it a little bit or ink it, but like I said, I don't feel it necessary to ink it. So we're just going to, I don't know, oh, that's where I put them. Okay. Normally I'm not too fussy when it comes to placement, but I found that, especially when I have my nails on, placement becomes a little bit harder because it just is. So, all right. I'm not ready to stick this one down just yet because I wanted to add some pieces kind of behind it because I do have these extra little floral pieces, and so we'll just kind of, I know that I wanted this here. Okay, now this guy, let's go ahead and put some foam tape on it. And so far I actually have really been liking this foam tape from scrapbook.com. Hopefully I didn't say Spellbinders before, but scrapbook.com is where I got this, and I got the 3 widths of it, and it's definitely a very, I don't have any complaints as of yet with it. It's been super easy to work with. It is super sticky though, so if you guys are looking at this, it is super sticky. I'm a little concerned on getting a thin enough piece, and it is quite foamy, and by that I just mean when you're cutting it, it's definitely squishy. It's not like your 3M foam tape. Sorry, I'm just trying to cut a little piece for here, and I don't know if I've accomplished that. We'll see in just a moment. Oh yeah, I did. Whew. Tiniest little sliver. Get that down there. Yeah. So let's see. I hope you guys enjoy this series. I am enjoying it. Obviously, if you have questions or anything like that, you can always ask me. Don't hesitate. Honestly, in my wildest dreams, I don't think I ever thought that I would be doing a series that centered around my faith. But, you know, what they say, God's plan. And he's really just putting a conviction in my heart to make sure I keep going with this series. So I hope you guys are enjoying it, and even if no one ends up watching it or commenting or anything like that, I'm going to be okay with that, because this is about doing what God has called me to do. I hope that he calls you guys in, and you guys start watching this and that you enjoy it, and you know, we can start interacting and having discussions. And, you know, if you guys want to participate and, you know, join the swap or just craft along or, you know, anything like that, that would be wonderful too. Just spreading his word and, you know, hopefully my head wasn't in the way, and just, you know, sharing faith and being able to fellowship with people who have the same beliefs. I think that's very important, and, you know, something that, you know, needs, that everyone needs, you know, with their faith, because if you surround yourself with people who don't believe, then you're not able to grow and mature. And I know that just participating in this swap has made me open up my Bible more and has made me more confident and what's the word I'm looking for? Being more confident and just about speaking out about my faith. You know, it's not been something that I've been, you know, not one of those people who, I don't want to say advertises, because I'm always very upfront that, you know, I am a Christian, but I've just never been one to be the one to open up first about my faith and, you know, share what I believe. I always said, you know, if someone asks me, I will definitely answer to the best of my ability and, you know, encourage and that kind of stuff. But I have not been one who has just been able to speak up and witness and, you know, talk about my faith without, you know, prompting. And so this is, I think, the start of that. Okay. All right. So I've got those on there. I'm going to just stick this down flat. Gosh, this is so pretty. I hope Deb loves it. I've already received the card that she sent me, and it is gorgeous, and I absolutely love it. It's already on my Rolodex, or my Faith Dex card holder. I'm just behind, so behind. So I know this is the February one. You guys will be seeing this obviously in March, because I have to make sure that Deb gets hers before I can send it. So there's the front of the card, and I love the way that this is turning out. We're going to do a quick back to it, and then I do have a couple of, what do you call it? I do have a couple of sequins that I want to put on the front just for a little bit of extra something. Okay, so I already printed the swap information on the back. So yeah, like I was saying, shipping time. So you guys are most likely going to be seeing this in March instead of February. It just seems like every month I am getting a little bit behind in getting these done, but I'm getting them done, and that's the important part to me right now. I will get on time. I know I will. I have faith in that. So you may actually get 2 in the month of March, because I am going to start working on my other one after I finish this. So for the month of March, the theme is thirst. And I think that is just, that's amazing. I love that. I have these here, but I don't think I'm going to use those. I think those can just go someplace else for now. I'm just going to use this little piece. This was one of the little pieces, the clusters, I think is what they call it. And we'll call it good. On this part, we're going to, obviously the back stays nice and simple. And I knew I wanted to use this cluster here, so when I was putting the information there, I made sure I put it to the top. So it might have looked kind of funny before I placed this down, but that was the plan, is to put this in the middle right there. Okay, let's get a couple of sequins. So I'm going to use some of the Aura Opalescent from Spellbinders, and get in here without ripping the bag open. Now these are looking a little yellow, but that's okay. They have a pink kind of look to them, and I really liked that. So I like sparkle, I like shine. We're going to go a little crazy with this. There we go. We're going to put plenty of these on there. And we're going to put them on, and then once we have them all where we like them, we will start gluing them down. I think we need one more. And sorry if my head's been in the way at all. Okay, I think that, just like that, that's going to work. I had almost thought about putting them on each of these, but as I was kind of getting ready to glue them down, and I've got a glue drip, so hold on. Let me just... Here we go. That's going to be a lot of glue. That is not going to work for this tiny little sequin. Hopefully it hides it, which I think it will, but I just needed a little dab of glue right there for this tiny one. And sometimes, there we go. Sometimes the glue just comes out super fast. Okay. I think I got them all. Yes. Okay. All right. So there it is. But like I was saying, I was thinking about doing one of these in each, but as I was kind of laying them out, I don't really care for that look. I do have these beautiful pink ones. Oops. These are self-adhesive. I just have the one size. of them, but nope, we're not going to do that. So we'll just put that one right back on there. I thought I might like it, but I don't care for it. So we're not going to do that. So here we are with the final card. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. I really enjoyed having you guys follow along with me. I hope you guys are enjoying this series, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.